It's very common for clients to come to me and say that they're receiving SSI when they mean SSDI, or SSDI when they mean SSI, or they'll just say I'm on disability and they don't know exactly what that means. SSI and SSDI are programs run through the Social Security Administration, and they're very different programs, and it's really important to understand the difference. Most commonly, it's because people come to me and they go, I'm on disability and I'm about to get this inheritance or a personal injury settlement, and I don't want it to negatively impact my disability. I don't want to lose my disability. And when I say, well, what program are you on? They're not exactly sure. They just say disability. Well, again, disability can refer to SSI or SSDI. So I think it's important to talk at least briefly about the differences between these programs, and then you'll better understand the implications of coming into money, what that is on one program versus the other, because they're very different. Let's start with SSI. SSI stands for Supplemental Security Income, and that is a program for folks who are either over the age of 65 or under the age of 65 and disabled. That's why this program is also sometimes referred to as disability, right? You have to be disabled to qualify for SSI if you are under the age of 65. You also have to meet an asset threshold. SSI says you cannot have more than $2,000 in what they consider to be countable resources. Luckily, not everything's countable, but money in the bank certainly is. And if you're coming into money, that will be a countable resource. So if you have more than $2,000, you're not on SSI. That's number one. But it's also for folks who are making less than a certain amount of income. This year, the benefit rate is $841, meaning if you make more than $841 from any income source, you will not qualify for SSI. That's very important to know, because another way of distinguishing between these two programs is people will say, I'm on SSI and I receive $1,200 a month from Social Security. Well, I'll say, well, for sure you are not on SSI because you make more than $841, and you might be on SSDI, and that's another conversation, and we're going to get to that in a second. But if you make less than $841 and you have under $2,000 in assets, you can then apply for SSI. And if you're under the age of 65 and disabled, you'll be approved. Or if you're over the age of 65, you're kind of assumed, you don't have to meet the disability requirement at that point. And if you make at least $1 in Social Security income, you will automatically be entitled to Medicaid, which can provide a very valuable health insurance benefits for folks who normally can't afford health insurance. So again, that's why sometimes even getting $1 worth of applying just to get that dollar is valuable, because of the health insurance benefits that you get immediately. Once you get at least $1 of SSI, you are automatically entitled to Medicaid. I believe that's nationwide. It's for sure the case in Florida. So let's compare and contrast that with SSDI. Oh, I should say one more thing about SSI. The current federal benefit rate for the current amount, the most you can make from SSI is $841. That's a 2022 number. That number will increase every year. So if you're watching this in later years, check back and do some quick Googling, and that number will likely be higher. But right now it's $841. If you receive more than $841, you are not on SSI. You may be on SSDI. SSDI is the Social Security Disability Insurance Program. And I think insurance is a really key word for us to think about, because you only get it if you buy into it, right? When you work for a certain number of years and you're fully vested in the program, you are essentially, through your job, you are paying insurance premiums. And if you become disabled while you're working, you can then apply for Social Security disability or Social Security disability insurance, or the SSDI program. Again, you've worked, you've paid into the system, and that's the primary way that people qualify for the SSDI program. You have to be under the age of 65. SSDI is essentially getting your retirement benefits early. Once you turn 65, it'll automatically convert to Social Security retirement. You don't have to file anything. It just will sort of happen. But if you're under the age of 65 and you can't work because of an injury or whatever the case is, you paid into the system, you apply for SSDI, and you can make significantly more, receive significantly more than $841. It can be a couple $1,000s or more in SSDI benefits. Now, what happens is when you initially qualify for that benefit, you don't receive any health insurance. Like SSI, once you get it, you get the Medicaid immediately. With SSDI, you have to wait 2 years. And after that 2-year period has elapsed, you will then be entitled to Medicare. Not SSI is Medicaid, SSDI, you get Medicare after 2 years. And again, it all ties into when you turn 65, then you just kind of roll into that's your normal Medicare enrollment date anyway, and that's what that is. But what's important to note about SSDI is that is not a means-tested program. SSI, you have to make less than a certain amount of money. You have to have less than a certain amount in resources in order to qualify for SSI. SSDI, that is not the case. You got that program because you paid into the system like an insurance policy. So it doesn't matter what you have in the bank. You can still qualify for SSDI. It doesn't matter if you're receiving an inheritance. It doesn't matter if you're getting a personal injury settlement. Once you receive that money, if you're on SSDI, you will not lose any benefit because they don't care about what you have in your bank account. They don't care about if you make money from other sources. You get that benefit because of what you paid into the system. So that's where that's why when people get these programs confused, it's really important because I get multiple people, they'll come to me and say, I'm on SSI when they really mean SSDI, which is always good news for them, right? They think they're going to lose their benefits, and I get to be the bearer of good news and say, hey, you're making $1,200 a month or $900, $1,000 a month or more. Congratulations. Go ahead and accept that inheritance. Go ahead and settle that personal injury case because it's not going to jeopardize your access to SSDI. It's not going to jeopardize your access to Medicare. All is well. If you have SSI, on the other hand, and Medicaid, if you receive an inheritance or a personal injury settlement, your benefits are in jeopardy. And there are ways to plan around that. So if you have SSI, give us a call, set up a consultation anywhere in Florida, and we can talk about how to protect that money. If you have SSDI, you're fine. If you're not sure, you can schedule a consultation and we can work our way through it. I mean, you can just look at request a copy of your Social Security benefit statement and it'll break down the programs for you. Hope this video has been helpful. By the way, if you were confused, you're in good company. I talk to lots of people every week who don't know that when they know they're on disability, but they're not sure which program they're on. I hope this video has provided some clarity. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please share it. Please subscribe to the channel. That's my goal, is to try to get good, practical information out into the world. We serve the entire state of Florida. Again, I'm Jason Neufeld with Elder Needs Law. Thank you for watching.